Welcome back, guys. So you can see here our application is running. So before we write any code, let's see the folder structure of our application. So I'm here in Visual Studio and the practice is my folder, which is the project folder. And if I click here, you can see the bunch of folder here. So we are not using everything here and we're not going to explain everything here, but we'll explain some of the important things that we'll be using in developing the project. So first thing we need is .env file. The reason we use .env file is that because we have the database connection. So whenever we make application, we obviously need to connect to the database. So we use here, you can see where we have a DB connection, MySQL, and our host here, path here, and Laravel has given a default database name Laravel, which you can change it to anything like blog or e-commerce, whatever you're making. And if you have username, you can give the root if it is a root, and if you have password, you can give as password. Otherwise, you can leave this as blank. So if you scroll down, we have a lot of things like we have the pusher, app ID key, we have mail trap. So we'll not be using this, so I'll not explain this, but the most important thing is the database connection. And one more thing is that here you can see app name is Laravel. You can change this to anyone, and once you restart server, you'll see the different app name. So currently we have the Laravel, so you can see this everything here, app name as Laravel. Okay, so now let's go to the app directory here. So here the app directory, and other thing I like to explain here is first let's go to public here, and it is the root folder which helps in initializing the Laravel application. So you can see here it includes the st-access file. So st-access file is basically a configuration file which you will not be using here and making application, so let's not go into it. And similarly, we have the index.php file. The file is required for initializing of web applications. But the most important thing here is the resources, because this is the folder that we'll be using frequently when we actually make a view. So we have the CSS file, we have the JS, and this language for actually will make a multilingual website. This is important. So here the view file, and here the welcome.blade.php, and these stops are actually this page, and we can make any number of the views file here. So just whenever we are making the view file, we have to go to the resources, views folder, and just give the name here anything. For example, let's give the test.blade.php. Okay, so this is the thing that we'll be using most frequently. And other thing is the models here. You can see here models. Currently we have one models by default, and the name of model is users. So when we migrate this, the table name will be the users. The table name will be always the plurals, and the model is always singular. So if you don't know about migration, share, don't worry, we'll learn in later part of video. For now, you can see here this is a fillable array with the name, email, password. That means this name, email, and password is also exist in our users table, and whenever you submit a form, the name, email, and password will be actually inserted, and that will be saved into the database. However, we need to write the logic in our controller as well. So whenever we create a model, all the models will be inside the models folder. Okay, so don't worry about this, we'll be learning about the models as well. Just I want to show you where is our models, and inside the HTTP here the controls, and we can make as many as controller here. Even we can make a folder, and within the folder we can make controller. For example, test controller, category controller, anything. Okay, so our MVC here is the M is the models, and view is within the resources, and C is our controller. Okay, now let's go to the other things here. So let's go to the bootstrap. The folder includes all application bootstrap script. It contains a folder namely cache, which includes associated which include all the files associated for caching a web application. So this is not the things that we'll be using, so let's not worry about this. And we have the database here, and we have the migration. We'll be creating the migration, a lot of migration. So you can see here we have, for example, users migration. So I'll teach you how to create a migration file as well. And when we migrate this file, it will create a table name with the users, and that will have the attribute like name, email verified, and password. Okay, and we have also the factory, and with the help of factory we can create the fake data. Actually, it uses a fake library to create a fake data. For example, you don't have to manually submit the form and create a user. You can just create the fake name and stores into and can store in a database. This is especially used when you want to show the demo of the application and when you need the data. Okay, so we'll cover about this as well, so no need to worry about this. Now let's go to storage folder. uh, this folder stores all the logs and necessary files which are needed frequently when a Laravel project is running. We have app and we have you can see framework contain like sessions, views, and cache, and we have also logs. Logs is basically used to log the errors. So we have here storage, and the most important thing here is the routes. We frequently use routes because we need to navigate to the different URL. So we have routes, and we must use the web.php route. And here is one example. So if you don't understand anything, don't worry about this. We'll also learning about route. We'll learn everything about route. And this is the web route. We must use this. And we have the API route. API route is used when you're actually making API. We have the channels, so we use for broadcasting. When you're making something real-time application, we use this. We have the console.php where we can make our own custom artisan command. Okay, and then we have a vendor. So whenever we install the third-party packages, all the package will be within the vendor folder. We have the test for unit testings, and here the composer.json that gives the uh, overview of your PHP, overview of a Laravel application, and a lot of things. Whenever you install the package, and everything will be installed here. For example, when you install the Laravel, we have also Axis already installed here. We have Lodash and much more thing here. Okay, so that was the overview of the folder structure, and in the next video we'll be learning more. So I'll see you guys in the next video.